Episode 5.
Lords of Thebes, we have come by a shared journey, two seen from the eyes of one. Indeed, for the blind, this is life, living by the hand of a guide.
What is it, Elder Tiresias? What news do you bring?
I will explain now. Obey the prophet.
I would not stray from your wisdom at a time like the present.
And in doing so, you've brought greatness to the city.
Yes, I am a witness to your benefits.
Be wary. You are treading once again on fate's razor edge.
What do you mean? Your voice is making me tremble.
You will come to know as you learn the signs I have seen. As I was sitting in my old auger's seat, a spot for the birds to gather round me, I heard an unintelligible voice come from them, shrieking with a base and barbarous frenzy. I realized they were tearing one another with their talons in slaughter, but the beating of their wings was not meaningless. In fear, I immediately tried lighting a fire on my fully kindled altar, but from my sacrifices, Hephaestus, god of fire, did not rise. Rather, the dripping sacrificial juices of thy fat melted onto the embers, raising smoke and sputtering. And bile was scattered high into the air, and the thigh meat dripped down, and its coating of fat fell off. I've learned of the omens that perplexing sacrifice from this child here, for he is my guide, just as I am the guide for others. You are the reason your city is filled with plague. For ill-fated Polynices, son of Oedipus, lies as carrion, and so all the altars and hearths are filled with vultures and hounds. No longer do the gods receive sacrificial prayers from us, nor do they acknowledge the scented flames of entrails. No longer does the bird shriek auspicious cries as it is now gorged on the fat of that slain brother. Ponder these things, child, for all men make mistakes. When a man does wrong, if he makes amends and moves forward after his mistake, he is no longer unwise or unblessed. But your stubbornness has made you clumsy. Let the dead man rest. Don't kick at its corpse. What good is there in killing the dead a second time? I have your best interests in mind, and I speak the truth. If you hear good advice, the best thing to do is learn from it.
Old man, like a whole team of archers taking aim at a single man, I cannot escape the assault of your oracular art. I am bandied about by these fortune tellers. I'm bought and sold like cargo. You're making a good profit, earning your white gold from Sardis and, if you like, even gold from India. But you will not seal that man in a tomb, not even if the eagles of heaven want to carry him off as food for Zeus's throne. Even if it meant whipping my hands of this pollution, I will never let that man be buried. For I know well that no mortal can pollute the gods. Men fall, Elder Tiresias. Even clever men, they fall far and disgrace when they lie, however beautifully, for a little extra gold.
Then does anyone consider
What old saying is this?
that the man's greatest gift is reason?
As surely as madness is our greatest curse.
But you have clearly come down with that disease.
I won't trade insults with a prophet.
And yet you do, in saying I prophesy falsely.
All prophets love money.
All tyrants love theft.
Do you realize that you're speaking to your king?
I do. You only saved the city because of me.
You're a wise prophet, and yet you love doing the wrong thing.
You will force me to utter the holy secret in my heart.
Go on. Tell it, as long as you won't be talking for profit.
Hear my words. You shall find them too costly.
You should know you won't be paid for my decisions.
You should know that you won't live through many more courses of the racing sun before you'll be handed corpse over corpse, sprung from your own flesh, a corpse for corpses, for casting down a god of heaven, for lodging a living soul in a shameful grave, and for keeping here on earth what belongs to the gods of hell, a corpse, unburied, unmourned, unholy. Neither you nor the gods of heaven have a say in these matters, and yet you have done them violence for these crimes. The vengeful executioners, the furies of Hades wait in ambush for you, ready to ensnare you in the same terrors. And consider if I would say all this for a little extra silver. It won't be long now until the shrieks of women will arise from your home. Wild with anger are all those cities whose butchered citizens were buried by dogs, beasts, or wearing buzzards, creatures that stain their homes and cities with polluting stench. As you were harassing me, I was shooting, like an archer, these arrows in anger at your heart. Steady arrows whose sting you can't outrun. Boy, take me home so this man can burden younger men with his anger and learn to keep a softer tongue and a wiser mind than he does now.
The man,
my lord, has left after speaking terrible prophecies, and yet for all the time since my hair first grew on head, once dark, now white, our city has never heard him tell a lie.
I realize it fills me with fear. It would be a terrible thing to obey him, but no more terrible than to resist him and curse my soul.
Tread carefully, son of Menecius.
What should I do? Tell me and I'll obey.
Free the buried girl and bury the unburied.
This is your advice? To give in to him?
As quickly as possible, my king, for the curses of the gods bring a swift end to foolish men.
It's hard to deny the heart, but I can't go on fighting so desperately against the gods.
Come on now. Do these things and nothing more.
I will go straight away. Go, friends. One and all, hurry up and take your axes to the tomb in plain sight. My mind has changed. As I myself bound her, so too shall I set her free. I fear it's best in the end to preserve the laws of old.